Guys, welcome back to Let's Play Xenogears. Last time, we had a whole bunch of fun and got ourselves the trader card. I guess it wasn't really fun. We kind of did take down someone who was once our friend, but I think he had something coming after all the crap that he's pulled. Anyway, this time we have a confrontation between Emperor Cain and Ramses. Must get rid of you. Well, I'm not sure if that's really going to help you at this point. Apparently, they're kind of battling back and forth. He's referring to the Gazelle Ministry. Now, here's kind of a little bit of confusion. Originally, it said that Krelian is the one who helped preserve their lives by sealing them up as data inside this computer. But now he's kind of shifting the blame over to them, so I'm not sure. I would assume that he's still the one who originally did it, and then he's just saying that they're more obsessed with staying alive now. More than anything else, but oh well. I don't know about that. Apparently they had a bit of an alliance here, supposedly against the Gazelle Ministry, but Krelian's like, nah, I got my own things, I know what I want to do. The hell with you. Pretty much, yeah, your own way. He was just using whoever would get close enough to him to be able to make use of it. Now, here he uses Ramses, obviously what Ramses is a reference to, the Egyptian king, right? The one who, what was it? With the one who would not free the Jewish slaves to Moses, who had, said that, and then we had the seven, what are they? Not the deadly sins, the seven plagues. They came down and they killed his firstborn son, but basically he didn't believe in God, right? And now Krelian is referring to Ramses as this one who doesn't believe in God, something about killing the firstborn son. In this case, Ramses is more like a son or something like that, and Cain is more like the father in this case. You can also see the kind of the Cain and Abel dynamic here. Once he's killed, the helmet rolls off. Now, I think the emptiness is trying to say that he is a Wells underneath. I'm not sure. I'm really not, and there's so many parts of the game that are just never completely, explained, but so much of it, again, is. So I'm guessing that the idea that he must have been one of the ones who mutated, because originally he's also human, right? And he just wore that, or that's just kind of how he was aging, because his life has been prolonged so long. So it could be that he was transforming into Wells from, the stuff that's happened recently. It could be the fact that that's how he's stayed alive so long, and hence why he's wearing the mask, so that nobody will figure out that he looks, that creepy, or something like that. I'm not exactly sure, but that's the basic idea of it. Yeah, I don't think anyone's going to accept your, computer knowledge above all emotion thing. Excellent work, Krelian. Now, there's nothing can stand in the way of accomplishing our objective. The Anima Relics have been awakened and aligned with their respective animus. Now, they actually do list off all of the names, and I believe all of these are based on some of the ancient Jewish tribes. I know nothing about this really, just that reference has been made. They've been aligned with surface dwellers as their animus. Animus. That would be, as far as I know, Billy's gear and Rico's gear, and who would the other one be? Not sure. They might be referring to... No, they're not. So Hugo, of course, being Satan, Ramses, Krelian. Sophia's Dinah is referring to the one that reacted with Elly, the one in Shivat. So I'm not sure who the other one was. Oh, that must have been Bart, sorry. Ha, I knew that. Anyway, yeah, those four were already aligned years ago, so we have 4, 4, and 3, which leaves one left. Graph. Yes, so that's all 12 of them. So the ones that had been aligned before, I guess, were aligned with, what's the word? I would guess that that happened a long time ago. That's kind of what they said, and that would mean that the ones they aligned with were part of the Gazelle Ministry at the time, so I'm not sure if those, like, they're the other 4 that aren't the 8 that are in the sphere are dead, as far as I know. So I'm not sure if that means they're still aligned even though they're dead, or what the deal is. I don't know. Maybe they align them with some other people that are just kind of sitting there doing nothing. Is it now? Time of the gospel has come. Extol, from what I looked it up because I was like, oh, is another one of those Xenogears words? No, it just means like praise be. So there you go. Something like that anyway. And here we have the Geisha Key. Not going to be a whole lot of torque being able to put on that. Or you could do it by computer. That works too, since apparently they don't have any hands. And what has that done? From what we knew about the Geisha Key from before, something about Solomon's book, something about Demon Spellbook. What else did I write down? Basically, it summons Mahan to the surface. But that's not all it does. Yes, it also has a way of forcing mutations even in people who had not mutated and were already being mutated, and everyone started to become Wells. So basically, even though this has already happened once, it's happening again. And somehow they know about this. I guess since they're saying this in retrospect, that has already happened, so I guess that's how they figured it out. But yeah, so their idea here is people have been destined by God to be something, and now they're being mutated in that way to serve that purpose. And yes, Solarians are now being changed as well. It's no longer just surface dwellers, which kind of shows you how much everyone is manipulating everyone else in this game. Once humans have filled the earth, God will awaken from his long sleep. Now that is a line that the Gazelle Ministry, I believe, spoke to Fei once we got captured in Solaris. So eventually this place rose from its long slumber and began to rise, almost as if responding to the call of the people. In its majestic glory, huh? Not really. Okay, so here's where problems begin. For, well, basically on two accounts. Storyline, yeah, big problems are starting to occur now. The other problem I'll get into once we watch the cutscene. So yeah, they said before that Mahan, the resting place of God, was buried somewhere deep in the earth. Well, apparently it wasn't that deep, it was just underwater. And now, because it's been down there so long, it's almost like a continent. I guess all the plants growing on it are, stuff from the littoral zone, that space right between the water and the land there, the early part of the water where all the things, most of the things in the ocean grow. But yeah, it just kind of rises to the surface and hovers there, a la Final Fantasy VI. Floating continent, woot. Yeah, so Solaris, there really isn't much left, as you can see, or as they've told you. They haven't really, there isn't much left to Solaris. The Solaris is pretty much gone, and Gebler is pretty much gone, so Solaris now is the Gazelle Ministry, as it's the only power left, other than Krelian, and Krelian seems to be kind of supporting what they're doing, so... Yeah, pretty much all of them have become wells, and they're now weapons to be controlled. They don't even know what's in here, but they've heard it's God or God's wisdom, and that can't fall into the hands of the Ministry. To carry out the plan at dawn. Hence I had to stiffen my resolve concerning her. They love their indefinite pronouns in this game. Yes, they do. Yeah, we're telling Elly she's got to stay. Yeah, it's been too dangerous all along, bud. This is true. Yes, but you're not the boss. You're the protagonist, but you're not really in charge of anybody else. Everyone else is here because they want to be here. Yeah, it's more powerful than the other fights. It's a battle for the wisdom created by God, life and death. Pretty much all battles are life and death, so that one doesn't really hold a whole lot of value, but of course they'll bring the strongest possible troops. Of course, if they had done that from the start of the game, we never would have gotten this far, but oh well. What do you mean? Okay. Oh, right, yeah. Elly doesn't like to kill people. She's basically adopted Fei's pacifism to an extent from earlier in the game. And yeah, gears made out of humans, kind of like Hammer. And if you remember last episode there, they said that she basically cried constantly after they defeated him, even though she wasn't in the battle. Well, not really, maybe. I don't know. Whoa, buddy. Asshole move. Asshole! And for whatever reason, it took that long to trigger the music. Yeah, he kinda did. and I'm sure most of us can. Fei, you don't actually know what's going on, do you? He did it on purpose. He knew it was an asshole move, and he still did it. He did it to protect her because he cares that much. Yes, we've seen this in movies, anime, video games, many times before. This time, it's not so subtle. They actually explain it, which is kind of rare. Normally, you're left to interpret. This time, they flat out tell you, and in a game that's full of a lot of things where they eventually flat out tell you, but not for quite some time, usually they're really vague, it's kind of odd and it's kind of jarring at the same time. This is true. If you remember at the start of Disc 2, she was basically running herself ragged trying to help everybody. And we saw the scene where, right after we fought the Sufal Mass, where basically everything she was saying was kind of echoed, or she was echoing a lot of things that Sophia had once said. Yeah, it was a little bit harsh. Yeah. Now, to some extent, I'm with the rest of them. I can understand Fei's perspective, and I can understand their perspective as well. He was trying to force the situation so that she wouldn't come to protect her, but in doing so, he pissed her off, and of course that's not a good situation, so I kind of understand both perspectives there. Yeah. And Bart, you jump really weird. Just like that. Really? No. Young Master, don't overdo yourself now. I think they're trying to play up, their romantic kind of connection there between Bart and Margie. I think that's why he gets all kind of nervous about it. It's like, oh, you can be all nice and romantic, really? And then, like, flashes her eyes at him or something. I don't know. They could have made this scene a little more clear when it comes to that particular aspect, but oh well. I'll take it. I do love this game, so. Everyone knows it. Not really. Even Emeralda is telling him to go do it, and she doesn't really know a whole bunch right now. I'm sure she's more of a dictionary than she is, an understanding of emotions. Go chase after her. What are you waiting for? Nobody says anything particularly interesting. Not the time. Yeah. Let's see here. Chu-Chu has something mildly interesting. Yeah. I do like this line, though. Even though we're kind of past Hammer at this point, and he has been an asshole, at least, we get kind of another little reference there. Let's see here. Nope. Now, can I go this way? No, they won't let me go that way. Don't run away. Be a man and confront the problem. Okay. Alright, so let's try this door. Hey, stupid, it's the other room. If you go to the engine room, the old man will smack you one. I love that they have those little lines in there. They're all kind of funny, so. Anyway, this episode will it's going to run a little bit long. I want to finish this sequence, so. Once we're done with the sequence, we'll call her a day. Pretty true. See, I like the cell phone because I can turn the cell phone on vibrate. I don't like the home phone because it rings when I record. Anyway. Let's see, continue on with that. Yeah, no doubt, we're kind of right in the middle of things at this point. Other people, not so, I guess it's not really a lucky thing, but they have no idea really what's going on, and they're all being kind of mutated. Nothing's really going well, so they're basically facing an apocalypse, and they don't know who's doing what and why and where. We know what's going on, but we're not mutating, so you tell me which situation you want to be in. You have to fight against them, or just kind of succumb. She has done that. I don't think the term body needed to be there, but, just saying you don't just belong to yourself anymore. You're kind of bigger than that at this point. That's a strange reaction. We were never really enemies. The one fight we had against Elly, she was being controlled by drive, and that wasn't really a fight. Saw yourself and him. We seem to overlap in a similar situation. Oh, so you don't, then. Well, poor Fei. Yes? Yeah. They've finally kind of come true about their feelings, which is nice. I just have this feeling. I won't die. I'm the protagonist. I can't die. Except for the fact that that happens in other games. Rarely, but it does. How do you figure that? Even from the first moment, they had this connection, this strange connection that they haven't explained. Yeah, they were both kind of running away from their own problems and kind of thought, oh, she's like me and he's like me. Let's get rid of our problems and we'll just kind of, be one. Even though they weren't kind of going at it from a romantic standpoint at that point. It grew rather fast, but normally when they say there's another me within me, it's usually the woman saying that. Kind of different. Of course, it's a completely different situation, but the only one that's been able to keep me from giving in. So, based on that, why wouldn't you want her here? Well, with you. So, basically, if she stays back and he knows that she's safe, then he'll have to get back there. I can understand him wanting to do that, but at the same time, you're kind of not really making the best use out of her abilities. And it's nice that they've decided, we've cheaped out enough on this disc. We need to at least throw an FMV in for that moment. All right then. Very nice. Nice happy moment. Hey, she's naked! Yeah, I remember the first time I saw this, you know, probably what, in 2000-ish, and maybe a little after, and I'm what, like 12, 13, something like that. This is the first time I'd ever seen them show something like that in a video game, and again, like I've been saying all along, there's no apologies, there's very little censorship, and it's just really cool that they can give us a mature game without, you know, throwing, you know, naked people all over the place, without throwing swearing all over the place, but they gave us a mature story to follow with mature characters, even if technically Fei's character is mentally immature because of his, you know, he's only been around, or his personality's only been around for a few years. But they've given us a mature storyline to follow that they can actually put this in here and, you know, it works. Yes, I know they had, what, strippers and Duke Nukem 3D or whatever Duke Nukem was, I can't remember. That's all I know about Duke Nukem is when I was a kid, there's like, hey, look, there's strippers in here, cool! Okay, cool! And now it's like, okay, pixelated strippers, cool! And that's about it. Oh well. But yeah, I definitely do like what they did with this scene, which is why I wanted to make sure that it got kind of included after the, you know, the scene in the briefing room there. But yeah, she was kind of watching Fei all night. But yeah, they just got it on. They slept together. They actually showed that in the game. They didn't, like, physically show anything, but this is as far as you usually get in JRPGs when it comes to sex. You know, you either get this or you get the sticky dene in Final Fantasy X and that whole scene in the water. Yeah, it's definitely a it's an allegory to sex for sure. Whether it's implying that it actually happened in that game, I doubt it. Just because those two characters are just far too stupid for that, but whatever. Anyway, so yeah, this is what I mentioned a few episodes back about the pendant that we always see swinging in Fei's, when Fei's sitting in the chair, and when Fei was changing, you know, when we saw the, you know, the younger Fei, and, you know, we saw kind of him break, and then all of a sudden Fei's not here anymore, and off in another area, oh, there's Id. Wonder why that is. But yeah, so he's letting her hold on to the pendant that he has. Or it could be what? Oh, nothing. Well, I know whose it is, and we will in due time. Anyway, I guess it's goodbye. It should be see you later. I would have liked them to have translated it that way, even if it wasn't technically how the original Japanese was. I think it just makes a little more sense. But in Japanese, that's probably the word for, you know, I'll be going now, with an intent on returning. There's actually a word for that, or not a word, but yeah, it is a word. Okay, never mind. Fine. Anyway, yeah, we'll drag this on for the end of this scene too. Well, no. Yes, they are, especially in this game. It's too dangerous. You can't come. It's dangerous to go alone. Although it's true, I can't help Bart and friends much anymore. No, not really. We have little magic cubes that change our party members. We don't really need you anymore. It's unfortunate. So yeah, basically she's trying to make Margie feel better about the fact that, oh yeah, if you maintain, Nissan for Bart to come back to, then, giggity giggity. Okay. Sure? I don't know. Anyway, we have things to do, of course. Let's pray that everyone comes back safely. To God? I haven't heard you say that before. No. To your own innermost feelings that everyone believes in. What's wrong? I knew it. That must be it. It's like everyone says you must be a reincarnation of Sophia. No way of knowing the Nissan sex teaching, but what you say, it's the exact same thing that Sophia always said. So yes, the fact that they look alike, and all of this stuff, and the fact that she's becoming more and more like this, like Sophia was as the game's gone on, specifically on Disc 2, that's your kind of, final revelation point where, we kind of see their connections there. First time I visited here, I had the most amazing feeling. Familiar, sad, had visited here many times in my dreams. I don't know how you would know what's in all the rooms, but... yeah, probably. But now, after all we've seen, it makes sense. Sounds about right. What are you talking about? Anyway. And what things couldn't you do? And that's pretty much it, yeah. So anyway, that's all for this really long episode of Let's Play Xenogears. Hopefully it will stay here because I have a lot to talk about on this scene too. Looks like it will. Okay, cool. Anyway, that's all for this one, and I'll see you guys next time.